some basketball, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid, but what did you expect? It's a podcast called 25 Whistles.
25 Whistles.
Welcome. A lot of build-up for that, huh?
A lot of build-up.
Yeah. Presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app. Use the code BobbySports to get in on the action. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
What's going on?
We're good. Hey, so I don't want to forget to talk about this survivor pool that I'm in. Don't let me forget before we leave.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Because I've put it on a note 3 times in a row, and then I end up writing all over my notes with other notes, other better notes, and we've done this for an hour, and I'm like, well, it's too late, but I got it. If it's my goodbye note, I will do it, but I need to remember to do that. Okay, welcome to the show. We're all here. Eddie, you want to blow the whistle, buddy?
I got you, bud.
All right, show can start now. That was very intense.
Thank you.
As a coach, did you have a whistle?
I did for practices, not during the games.
Did you blow it like that?
Of course I did.
That scared the crap out of me.
Dude, the best thing when you're coaching kids is like the drills of like, all right, you run, dribble till I blow the whistle, you stop. The last one to stop gets kicked out. And it's so much fun with the whistle going, all right, run.
You're playing
out.
Squid Games with the kids?
Yeah,
Timmy,
exactly
you're
what
done. Next, run. Oh, you didn't stop, Bill. You're out. Awesome, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, those drills are fun.
Do you want to coach next year?
I'm going to coach next year, but I have another guy coming in to help me out.
That
Dang.
knows about basketball,
Oh,
and
look-
you're replacing Kevin at the same time.
Well, Kevin did not renew.
I got fired?
Don't act like you're the victim, Kevin. You did not review.
Did you not renew Kevin, or did he not renew you?
I haven't even been asked.
That's
Wow.
not true. That's not true.
Breaking
This is
news.
all news to me.
You could at least franchise tagged him, give him a year.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. Look. I after the whole tournament, I talked to Kevin. I said, "Hey, man, I gave him a little gift card. Thank you for doing this. And of course, you're always welcome to do it next year." He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do that."
But he didn't say no.
It meant no.
And it was right after the game.
Thank you.
When emotions are high.
Yeah, after the whole season, and I'm like, dude, I just need a week. Let me get my thoughts back together. A little off season, then we can talk. But I didn't know I was a free agent now.
At the same time,
Hey, Kevin, let's pick another team and coach him ourselves.
real nice guys, real nice.
At the same time, go ahead, finish your thought before we get into
At
it.
the same time, like, why does Kevin want to coach 9-year-old boys? Like,
Because
he's not
he maybe enjoys the sport.
No, he's not a dad. Like, this is something we have to do as
You
dads.
asked me to coach. You could say the same thing about me.
Yeah, but it was your team. You paid into the team.
Right, but Jerry Jones, well, he doesn't want to coach. But, okay, so they're here. There's that drama. Mike, what's up, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I didn't ask how you were. I just said, what's up?
Oh, there's a lot of.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then Coleman, who is he on or do we lose him? Because we had him on and he was in his car. And then we were like, well, we can't do this if he's in his car. But then we saw a microphone pop up from the bottom of the screen. So he had his laptop and a microphone, but he was in his car. And then we're like, well, if he's driving, you can't. Then he's not. Somebody's driving, and we don't know who. It's a mystery person. And then we heard, I'm going to park at Starbucks, and now he's gone.
He's 1 mile from the Starbucks, so he's getting settled.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, so we'll check in with Coleman maybe.
Okay.
I'm watching the show right now called Looking for Michael. It popped up on my Hulu.
Michael who?
A mountain climber.
Jordan?
I don't know what's with me in these mountain climbing Everest shows, but it just popped up and I watched it. And that reminded me of Coleman saying like, hey, I'm pulling up to a Starbucks and then he's gone. A lot of these stories are like that, where they're just like, hey, man, I'm going to meet you right here at this spot. Never saw him again.
Well, he said, yeah, I'm pulling into Starbucks, and I didn't know about the whole deal. And we were a little loose with our time. We're like 5 minutes ahead of where we would be. But so Coleman will be up. We'll talk to him, do some basketball. Let's get going with the tittle tattle.
It's time for the stupidest name ever. It's the tittle tattle with Kickoff Kevin.
After the announcement of UCLA losing forward Jalen Clark for the remainder of the season, what do you get the chances of UCLA making a run in the tournament?
Listen, I didn't watch maybe but 2 UCLA games all year. So I'm not going to act like I'm a big Pac-12 expert, because I say I'm not awake for the most part. And unless I see the highlight, it's not just UCLA, it's USC, it's Oregon, it's all of those teams.
Arizona.
And yes, unless I see the highlight, I can't sit there and act like I'm Mr. Sports, where I've stayed up until 11 o'clock watching the game, because I'm not. The thing, I think he averaged 12 or 13 a game, something like that. But defensively, he was like the guy.
Is he the center? Is he the big guy?
Forward.
No, he's a
forward.
forward, right?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But he was like defensively, like maybe even like defensive player of the year for the all conference all. There's a few guys that are in that mix, but from all the experts that I know that follow the Pac-12, they're like, they can't win it now. Whereas they were a 1 or a 2, depending on how the conference tournament shakes out. Now they're like, we don't have them. Even Coleman, I think, said he had Houston and UCLA up there. And he's like, I can't even pick UCLA now. So I'm going to go just by the experts because I'm not an expert in UCLA basketball. I've watched 2 games. It seems to me like most people feel like he was such an integral part of that team that they could still win a couple games, but to win a national championship, it doesn't seem like they think it's possible because of what he provided to that team defensively. What do you think about it?
I'm kind of the same. I mean, obviously, we're on the same time zone here, so I don't watch a lot of the games. I know Tiger Campbell and Jaime Jaquez Jr.
Yeah,
They're both studs.
Those are the dudes that I thought, like, is it one of those guys? Then you're in trouble.
But again, they're studs in, like, they will score you points.
Right.
They will do a lot of the business that you do that gets you on Sports Center. Like, they're those guys, right?
Yeah. And
he's that guy, but he's like the trash man in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You got to have him. You got to have him. And if he's not there, it sucks. And things aren't running efficiently. There's garbage. But he also doesn't get the respect unless people kind of understand what he's doing and why he's doing it.
right, he's what you would call, I guess, the X factor of the team, right? One of those. If you need him, you got him. Great.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with no. They can't, but only because experts think.
We don't really know.
Well, again, other than highlights, I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm watching all those West Coast games. Hey, Coleman, is he back on with us? Did you find a Starbucks with a good cell location?
He's there.
His mouth is open, and now he's talking, but we don't hear him. You know, it's always something with old Coleman Crawford. And now he's looking at his computer. Now he's biting his bottom lip.
Coleman Crawley, right?
Whatever. I call him Coleman Crawford.
Okay,
That's what he deserves right now.
Just double check it.
Okay. Hey. No, we'll call him Coleslaw. It gets worse as it goes. All right, next question.
Next one is Jim Boeheim announces, he's leaving Syracuse after 47 seasons. When you hear his name, what do you think of?
Why did I say Crawford?
I don't know.
I've never once said
Coleman
Coleman Crawford. So what are you doing and where are you?
So I am heading from Hamilton, New York to Brooklyn, New York for the A-10 quarters. I plan on going to all 4 games today, but with this, I'm now skipping the first game and going to 3 of them. But it was a 4.5-hour drive, didn't have a hotel to stop at, so making this Starbucks work.
Okay, he's hustling.
Yeah, sounds good.
Can't be mad at somebody for hustling.
He's going to drive in New York City.
Oh, Coleslaw Crawley, what's up?
He's going to drive in New York City.
Yeah, LaFonda is going to see what Manhattan's like.
Wait, who's driving you?
My wife.
Show her. Okay,
She's covering her face.
We just wanted to make sure she was there because he's like my wife, but he's in the driver's seat. We're like, no. So
Driving
And who's
recording.
LaFonda?
My car.
I'm like, what is
he
happening?
makes
LaFonda
jokes.
the
That
Honda.
we don't have any background of it.
It's an inside joke.
Yeah, we had no background of an inside joke at all.
So
And yet
see
he's
if
still
LaFonda can
making
make
it.
it. What?
Yeah.
Inside joke in my own head.
So yeah, that's a way inside. Okay. Okay. Next question. Sorry, Kevin.
Okay, Jim Boeheim announced that he's leaving Syracuse after 47 years. So when you hear that name, what do you think of?
Not Coach K. He's not Coach K.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like that's my comparison for the past 10 years. That he's obviously a really great coach, even just to last that long. But he was always in Coach K's shadow in my mind. And he probably wanted to retire last year, but was like, I can't retire the same year Coach K retires because if I do that,
oh yeah, no one's going to.
no one's going to know it all. And also, it just kind of came in the way of like a weird press release where it was like, Coach Boeheim, but 47 years is retired. And they haven't been the greatest. I think of Carmelo. That's the last thing I think of.
Oh yeah.
Carmelo at playing Texas. I think of his son.
They had a little run with Buddy.
I think of his son. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think of all that. What do you think there, Coleman?
I think of the 2-3 zone. That's what I think of. I really wish he would have retired after, what was it, like the 2017 run when they made a run to the Final Four as a 10 seed. It seems like in this last half decade, he's really lost touch with where college basketball is going, the NIL stuff. And I don't know, seems kind of like that upset old man in the media that I wish he would have retired 5 years ago and just enjoyed watching his sons play. But I think of the 2-3 zone.
And I think probably he wanted to be there for his sons to play with him.
Yeah.
And the school doesn't want to fire him, obviously. And they probably made a deal you could coach through your sons. And even though the program hadn't been clicking, they still weren't going to fire him because he'd put in 40 years before they even got into it. It's probably not a pleasant situation around Syracuse basketball, I would assume in general. Because you're right, I picture him as like the guy that's yelling at the clouds and out of his front yard at this point. And Coleman, why do you think they just put out a press release? Why not something bigger? It's like, again, one of the most legendary coaches in basketball.
Right. It was so weird. I think the lack of success of late, it almost sounds like he was pushed out. Just based on how he was handling that post-game press conference. It seemed really odd, but the time is now. He should have been out a couple years ago, probably. But just being the legend that he had, that he's been, all the success that he's had, they didn't want to push him out. But now, given the last few years, felt like they had to.
I don't even associate Syracuse basketball with winning anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
A bit.
And isn't that sad because they were that program for a long time, even early for me, but they're just not a winning program to me in my mind. And I'm sure that Syracuse basketball fans 30 and over remember a point when they were really good and they still feel like we're a really good team and deserve to win. And they're probably torn. Like, this is our guy. We had him for 40 plus years, probably longer than most of them have been alive. And so it's like, he's a legend, but he's also got to go. So what do I associate with him? He's not Coach K. That's it. I mean, he was always compared to Coach K, and he's not, because that program hasn't won in a while. At least Coach K won when he was out. I thought they were going to give him the national championship. They were like, Coach K is leaving final year. I'm like, this is rigged. This is bull crap.
That'd be terrible.
I for sure was like, conspiracy. I'm on TikTok. Conspiracy theory. So, but he didn't.
Do you know what came to my mind? It's weird. It's not fair, but him hitting a dude with his car.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. That story was his wife. Well, do you remember the actual?
The details of it?
Yeah.
No.
Was there a foot thing involved or something to her? Is that Rex Ryan who likes feet? And
Yeah,
those
that was
two.
Rex Ryan,
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Wrong guy.
Yeah, I don't know why those two to me. Yeah, but he did hit somebody with his car.
Yeah, man.
Was he drinking?
No, and that's the crazy thing. It's like, I immediately thought, oh, great, Jim Boeheim's in trouble. It was after a game. He's driving home. He was drinking. He hit a dude. No, he was not drinking. Some guy got in front of him and he hit him. Pedestrian.
I felt that.
I mean, but who does that happen to?
I know. Maybe me, if you're not careful. What do you have there, Kevin?
He was trying to avoid a car on the side of the road and swerved and hit the guy
Okay.
that was standing on the side of the road.
That to me doesn't sound like what Eddie remembered and then convinced me.
What do you mean? What did I remember? He had to do with his car. That's all I said.
Yeah, but it felt pretty shady how you said it.
I
You're
know,
like,
and that's
you're
my
like, you remember
point.
when he hit that dude? And I'm like, there was something about that. Well, how Eddie said it. Was he drinking? Did he like feet? Like, I knew there was.
No,
there
you
was
brought up the feet.
Yeah, nothing scandalous there at all, buddy. All right, next question, Kevin.
Going to the NBA, earlier this week, James Harden said that he feels like he's being disrespected for the longevity of his career. Are you buying that?
He's not disrespected, but he's made so many things about him that the main issue or that aren't his career. Him moving around. We talk about him all the time, and I think we would respect his career and how great of a shooter he is, his longevity. All of this we would respect if there weren't better stories coming from him, like more clickable stories.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're disrespecting it. We don't get to it. That's the difference. When it's time to talk about James Harden, it's, oh, he's unhappy again? Oh, he's at 7 strip clubs in 7 nights? He's like Coleman with the mid-majors. He's going to a strip club in every city 10 nights in a row. So it's not that he may feel disrespected because people aren't talking about that, but he's giving such better material for idiots like us to talk about that we're never even able to get to that because we have 19 other James Harden stories to talk about that he has provided for us that they're excellent fodder. So we don't even appreciate how good he is because we can't even get to the appreciation stage really with him because there's so many other things that when James Harden's name comes up, we think about first and foremost. He hit somebody with a car. He likes feet. All of that. Coleman, what's your answer to that question?
Yeah, I agree a lot with you, Bobby. Secondarily, I think he's a tough watch with as ball dominant as he is. He's tried to change his ways just a little bit over time, but God, he's a tough watch and all that drawing foul stuff, trying to trick the referees. I feel like, I don't know, he's not traditionally viewed as a great player as some other elite guys because he does so much of his work at the foul line. It doesn't look as pretty, but big year for the 76ers. I mean, if they can make a run, perhaps get to the championship game, something like that in an East that's very competitive, maybe he changes his image going forward. But I agree with a lot of what you said, Bobby, and then also think he's just a tough watch sometimes.
This is why Coleman's an asset to the show because I go, well, he's at 7 strip clubs in 7 nights. And then Coleman's like, well, actually, he's very bald. And it's like the idiot and the smart guy. And also, James Harden sometimes shows up fat, and somehow 3 days later he's skinny. And I don't get how he does it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Hey, but drawing fouls is an art. That's an art, and he mastered that art.
No, the art is he can show up fat and 4 days later be skinny.
That too.
How does he do that? They'll be like James Harden, but also his beard makes him look fat too.
Yeah.
Because his beard's just so big.
Do you think you'd recognize him if he shaved that beard?
No.
No chance, right?
I wouldn't recognize you if you shaved your beard.
What are you talking about? My beard? I barely have a beard.
Exactly.
And
That's
we see
how
each
hard
other
it
every
is.
day.
Yeah, it'd be tough though, buddy. It'd be tough. Next question.
Well, I had a KD question last night, and then I found out. he
Ask
got
it
hurt
anyway, even though there's
pregame.
been an update. Go ahead.
Okay, so if he was healthy, and then now Steph Curry is back for the Warriors, who do you trust more going down the stretch in the West, the Warriors or the Suns?
Hey, what is the latest? Because this is what I saw last night. Maybe in warm-ups, KD was like, he went hard in his ankle.
Yeah, he just went up for a layup.
It just said ankle tightness or soreness.
So what I'm seeing today is he could be out for the rest of the year. And
No
possibly,
way, no way.
Possibly, well, not
Oh
the playoffs.
my God.
Possibly the start of the playoffs.
Even that.
Yeah, but the rest of the regular season, possibly.
What?
A grade
All
2.
I read was he was in pre-games and he came up with ankle tightness or soreness or something, and that it was precautionary. Now he's going to miss 15 games or so?
Yeah.
No way.
Odds haven't changed.
They haven't?
Nope.
What are they at?
Interesting.
I mean, Boston won. Phoenix is at plus 380 on second.
Like
so,
number one in the West, though?
number one in the West.
I cannot. LeBron, KD, Boeheim in the feet. It's a crazy day.
Keep going to the feet.
I know. Okay, so the question was, let's act like he wasn't injured.
Okay. So who do you trust more coming down the stretch, the Warriors or the Suns? To make a deep run.
You know what? I was just going to roll one quickly, but then I kind of second guessed.
You can't argue with history.
Yeah, I'm still going to go. If I were going to bet, I would bet on the Suns. To watch the attention they have to pay to KD and how much attention now that Booker is not getting from the defense, and Booker's lighting them up. He's what, 35, 36. Booker is playing at a level he hasn't been able to play. He's always had the capability to do it, but he's playing at a level that he hasn't had because he now has all this space because how do you stop the Suns? I mean, Chris Paul's 713 years old.
Sure.
Still a super effective point guard. KD, number 2, if I'm drafting, maybe 3, 2, still 2. I think you go Giannis 1, KD 2, Jokic 3. But KD's top 3 player in the league.
Where's Luka? 4?
Yeah, top 5 for sure. I wasn't ready for this question. But who would I put at 4? Because this wasn't the question. No. But I would still probably go with the Suns and a healthy Durant because he is that much of a game changer. And as good as the Warriors are, and they won last year, obviously, they're getting a little older. And Steph's been hurt, but they're also, that's tough. I don't not believe in Golden State, though. I'm not saying that at all. What do you think, Coleman?
Yeah, no, I would go with the Warriors. Just like Eddie said, the history, you just feel like they're going to figure it out. They did it last year. They're struggling on the road immensely, but a veteran team like that, you feel like eventually they're going to figure it out.
I just feel like in
So
the
smart,
playoffs,
Coleman.
though, shut up, Eddie. I just feel like in the playoffs, you pick, usually the team that wins is the team with the best player in the playoffs. And it's tough with those teams because, again, it's Steph versus KD. But if they're both healthy, I'm probably going with. Then you look at Clay has been playing a lot better this year, especially later in the year. I feel like he's got his half step back. He's lost. But I would still take Booker over Clay. And then it's Draymond versus what, you wouldn't?
Well, no, I'm just saying you're missing Wiggins, like you're missing Draymond.
But I'm going to Draymond at 3,
Okay.
who's a big glue guy, obviously a lot of rebounds. Whatever you need from him, he'll give. But Draymond versus Chris Paul. Now, we're not positioning it up. We're just going third player.
Right.
I'm probably going with Chris Paul. I'd probably still go with the Suns, but whatever. You guys are idiots. It doesn't matter because he's hurt anyway.
I know,
That's
sucks.
bull crap. Yeah, that is bull crap.
Sucks.
All right, what else?
Going to the NFL, if the Jets do get Aaron Rodgers, where do you rank them in the AFC?
Well, I was going to do the conference first, or the division first.
Okay.
So Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. Who am I forgetting? Bills. Okay.
Woo.
So you probably go. It makes that conference just in general a lot better. And also the Dolphins say they're not pursuing anybody. They're not trying to jump in on that franchise tag, that Lamar unrestricted franchise. They're like, we're out. Our guy is Tua. They have said it. They're in it. They're good. They must feel like there aren't concerns there.
And what's the offer? 2 first-round
Well,
draft
you got
picks?
to. Well, the offer is whatever you want it to be, but Baltimore gets to match the offer, and if they match it, they keep him. But if they can't match it, well, then they got to pay the contract, and then they have to give Baltimore 2 first-round picks.
You mean like when you go to Best Buy and you say, "Hey, I want this TV," but
Yeah,
Walmart has it for.
Hit me that analogy with that. Let me listen here. Go
All
ahead.
right, I'm Best Buy. I see the Samsung right there, and I'm like, I want that, but you have it at $2,011 or $2,100. Walmart has it for $1,800.
This
price
analogy
match it.
is not
Can you
correct.
price match that for me?
This analogy is not correct.
Okay.
So first of all, let's talk about the franchise tag, which I believe is the average of the top 5 at the position.
Yeah. Or it's like 20% more of your current salary.
Right.
Whatever's higher.
So what's going to happen here is you got Lamar at that salary, which is way less than he wants, and he wants it all guaranteed. But the only reason they're getting it all guaranteed is a dumb decision. Cleveland has set a terrible example and made a bad decision for everybody. Terrible owners. That's why their team sucks. They've ruined it for everybody. So every quarterback, I want fully guaranteed. I would. Daniel Jones got what, $85 million guaranteed?
Yeah.
Basically $40 million a year, except it's really only a 2-year deal. So that's where everybody's like, wow, he got $40 million a year, but it's a 2-year deal, but he got 85 up front. Now, if we go over to Baltimore, and I'm not sure the franchise tag money for him if you break it down, but another team gets to come in and go, this is how much we'd give for him. Let's do a TV. You got a TV at Walmart.
Yeah, Best Buy.
Just go with Walmart, god dang it.
Whatever.
I'm here.
Walmart. Let's
Why
go.
you got to change me up right now?
I got you.
You go into Best Buy, you see a TV that you like.
Yep.
You have to make an offer on that TV.
It's a Samsung HD 4K.
Well, it just
Let's go
says
8K,
it just says
8K.
we'll take the best offer on that TV. You say I'm gonna give you $10 for that TV right there. Well, Walmart's gonna go. Wait, I'm confused on your stores. You confuse me. You confuse me on the stores, man.
It's just 2, man. Walmart and Best Buy. That's it.
You don't need 2 stores.
Okay.
You need 2 TVs.
Samsung and
I don't.
let's go
We're down.
LG.
This is terrible. Anyway, here we go. The division. I'm gonna go Bills, especially if they can get Derrick Henry.
Oh. You think they're really going to trade him?
I don't. Yeah, I think the Titans would take a 2 and a 4 for Derrick Henry right now. There's a
wow.
new general manager. I don't think Tannehill lasts.
Right.
There's just you come in and you get rid of the other guy's stuff. Either year 0, year 1, or you got to get rid of the other guy's stuff immediately, or the other woman's stuff. So you know where Derrick Henry would be good for a couple years? Buffalo. That's the kind of style that they want to play.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of style their quarterback plays. So Buffalo, I would go Jets, Dolphins, but you have 3 solid teams there. And then the Patriots, who aren't terrible, they regressed, but they brought Mac Jones Whisperer in. So that all of a sudden, if Rodgers goes to the Jets, is a really good division. Now, the Baltimore situation, though, is so it's fun to watch because it's dramatic and it ain't my team. I love drama when it ain't my team. And it also says something that these teams aren't lining up to go out. Atlanta goes, I'm out. Miami goes, we're out. Because they don't have to pay whatever contract that is, which is going to be a lot, and then have to give up 2 first-rounders as well. Now, the argument would be you can't find a good quarterback. You just can't. They just don't exist. You can't just go, there's 3, I'll take that one. There are none. And so you almost want to overpay for one if you can get one and let them grow into that. But Lamar has played 10 of his last 22 games, something like that. Now, some of that, though, he may not want to play as like he was just only kind of hurt. And he's like, why would I risk hurting myself more in a contract year? But I would go Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots in that order, with none of those teams sucking. And in the AFC in general, Kansas City, Buffalo.
Where's Cincy?
Still going to go Buffalo for now.
They have some big defensive guys at free agency, too.
Cincinnati. And if Aaron Rodgers is a top 5 quarterback still, I believe it in all my heart. He was MVP, except for this last season, MVP the last 2 years before that. He had a broken finger. Almost got his team to the playoffs with nothing. He turned Watson into a star, a rookie star. So the question is, the Jets are going to be crazy good. The funny part is, what was it, Johnson & Johnson? It's a pharmaceutical, and Aaron Rodgers is like, pharmaceutical companies are targeting me.
Yeah,
'Cause I
he
said,
did say that.
And so now Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, Johnson & Johnson, and Aaron Rodgers.
He's part of Johnson
Yeah.
& Johnson?
Well, he's a Johnson.
Oh, that's
The Woody
crazy.
And then he be over there getting a check from Johnson & Johnson.
That's crazy.
Like, that's the kind of story we need.
I love it.
All right, what else you got?
It was Lamar. That's all good.
That's it?
Yeah, wrap it up.
All right, wrap it up, Mike.
The stupidest name ever. It's the tittle tattle with kickoff coverage.
All right, we're going to bring in the studio one of my buddies. But Quinn, before I introduce you officially, I had them print off some accolades for you. Yeah, it's real good. But it was only one line, but I made some other stuff up.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, let me do a commercial first. That kind of works, right, Mike?
Yep.
Should I do that first?
Let's do that.
Okay, just a reminder, 25 Whistles is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app and use the code BobbySports to get in on the action. Here you go. Here's my parlay for Thursday night.
Come on.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas money line. Texas money line. Kansas State money line. The only real dog there is the Kansas State game because they're playing TCU.
Okay.
TCU is real good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Arkansas, Texas, and Kansas State. And that's what's up with mine. It'll be up on the app. Go over. More smiles than frowns. We're back at it again. You guys can get on the action. 25 Whistles Parlay, DraftKings Sportsbook. If you want to take the 25 Whistles Parlay, check it out. New users use the code BobbySports when you download the app. 21 and up in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. See show notes for full details. Okay, now let me introduce Quinn Grovey, who
Sir.
Quinn and I are friends, but when I was a kid, Quinn was like my Arkansas football hero. I don't like telling him that anymore because now I just like crushed him at golf last night. Like crushed him.
coming up.
Crushed. I mean, it was
This is fake golf.
but it was still golf. Correct. So, led it all 4 years at Arkansas, 3-year starter at quarterback, 89, 80. I don't know the years there. He led the team to two
Long time
Southwest,
ago.
two Southwest Conference championships, 2 Cotton Bowl appearances, only hog quarterback to lead in multiple Cotton Bowls.
Yeah.
Named the Arkansas All-Century team. Let's see, Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame, Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. What am I missing here?
The podcast you like to listen to.
Oh, well, yeah, we would have got there. Yeah. Yeah, we call that 25 Whistles.
Yeah, we talk about that after we're done here.
25 Whistles light. Listen, I do listen to the Razorback Daily every single day. Sometimes I don't in the middle of baseball season.
Right. I hear you.
When it's like,
Me either.
yeah. When they're like, all right, we're going to bring on the janitor for the track team. And I'm like, I know somebody's making them do that. Or like, hey, why don't you? It's but mostly I'm in every day. Like I love them. So check out the Razorback Daily.
My favorite was when they lost. They were eliminated in the baseball tournament. And they were like, well, it's tough. Well, let's move. Hey, the volleyball team's killing it, though. They did a whole episode on the volleyball team.
Absolutely. Gotta let. And he's also on the football broadcast for the Razorbacks. When I first met you, you were on the sideline.
That's right.
And now you're up doing color.
Yep.
Right? That's what it's called. Color. You're a color guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not because I'm black. But because
Or
it's
is
color.
it?
Yeah. No.
Because until I always heard it was called the pale. It was called the pale. And all of a sudden you're up there and it's the color commentator. Yeah, you tell me. Something's fishy, Quinn. By the way, Quinn, this is Coleman. Coleman, I give you Coleman's story. He's the guy. He's in his car right now because he's in New York. Can Coleman see Quinn?
Right there behind him.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
When they pin it to him.
So Coleman has been to how many games in how many days?
I have been to 81 games in 70 days.
Driving.
Actually, 82 in 71 now.
82 college basketball games in 70 days.
On purpose?
Yep. He's been to almost every mid-major there is. That's his thing. He's trying to find like the Cinderella.
Oh.
And so he's been in here a couple times, but only when he was driving through, but he's a part of the show. And he reports back and he was like, you bet all your money on Marshall. That's what he said to us.
Whoa.
And then they lost. They're out. Yeah. So that
Eliminated early.
But Coleman's a college basketball expert. This is Kevin. And obviously, you know, Eddie and Mike in the room in there.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, just hop in. You're part of the group here. We're for sure going to talk about stuff. But so Quinn was like, hit me up like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's like, hey, SC tournament coming. It's in Nashville. You can be there. Mostly we're not here. Usually we're on the road and it sucks. I'm always mad. And I'm like, I'm going to be here. And so he's like, how many tickets do you want for the game? I was like, 2. Boom, gone. So I had him yesterday. I was like, I do not want free tickets, but I need 2 more. How do I buy them? So he hooked me up, and that's how I was able to get 2 more tickets. So now Kevin's going to go. My wife's going to go. So that's who you guys got to thank.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Quinn.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude.
Awesome.
I'm
You
excited.
we're in the Arkansas section, so you have to wear Arkansas.
Of course.
Got anything for me?
You good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I got something for
Yeah,
you.
Woo Pig, let's go.
I bring gifts.
That didn't sound natural. I liked it. I like to try, but it didn't sound natural.
I got something for you. I got something.
Woo Pig, baby, let's go.
No, that didn't. No, just.
Woo Pig, baby.
Well, now you're just saying it lighter.
Let's leave the
work
baby
on it.
out of
Yeah,
it.
we'll work on it.
Woo Pig Suey.
I took some friends that have never been to a Razorback game. One's from Ohio, one's from Arizona, but they're a married couple, and they were like, "Go Pigs!" That ain't how we do it. They're gonna know. They're gonna know. That's that TikTok trend. Are they gonna know? They're gonna know. I was like, no. Just follow along. So, all right, we're here. I do want to talk about North Carolina basketball for a second. So they might make it now. I think if they beat Virginia, they make it for sure. I think they might make it now. What a terrible year for them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they're on the cover of SI. They go to the national championship game last year. This Cinderella story, Cinderella-ish. Because what were they, Coleman? A 7 seed last year, 8 seed? Do you remember?
8 seed.
Okay. So North Carolina, big win over Boston College. By the way, terrible game.
It was a terrible
game.
I thought it'd be a lot closer than that.
Terrible and good for North Carolina.
Sure.
But they're playing number 13 Virginia tonight. And if they win this game, I think they're in regardless. And I think they're such a ratings getter anyway. And now the story is a ratings getter if they get in, that I think you got, especially if there are no like upsets in conference tournaments that eliminate somebody, I think they end up getting in. Coleman, your thoughts on North Carolina?
I think they're going to have to beat Virginia and may have to win another if they're going to get in. Here's the issue. They are 1-9. Their one quad 1 win is at home over Virginia. Virginia's 30th in the net, which is the cutoff for a home quad 1 win. So if they beat Virginia, that previous win probably falls to quad 2, and they would still just have one quad 1 win. I think they may need to beat Virginia and win another, but perhaps just beating Virginia would be enough.
And I think if they beat Virginia, they're in. And they're for sure in. And I agree with everything he says about quads and guads and 0.2-3. But
Guac.
also, I know these executives, these people sitting in this boardroom, you need ratings. And you're going to get it at first. But you need the blue bloods. And if you can get a blue blood in, you get a freaking blue blood in. It's kind of the unspoken rule. And it's probably even spoken a little bit. And if they're right on, if they're like, should we or shouldn't we? You know they're putting North Carolina in there. I want to see North Carolina in there because I'd love to see them either just get trounced the first round or win a few games. I mean, anything that happens to them is entertaining to me at this point. So I think they might be in now. I think if they beat Virginia, they're in. Coleman thinks they might be in if they beat Virginia. And if they win they have to win just another game. They have to win the whole tournament, do they?
No. They don't have to win the whole tournament. They make the finals. I think they're definitely in. But, I mean, think of 2 years ago, 2021. UCLA played Michigan State in a play-in game in Dayton, Ohio. UCLA went all the way to the Final Four. I mean, who knows? Maybe that could be North Carolina's story this year. You're absolutely right, Bobby, that the selection committee, the NCAA, would love the ratings increase on Tuesday and Wednesday in Dayton if North Carolina's playing.
Everybody be watching.
Of course.
And that's where I'd put them. In a play-in. How amazing would that be? North Carolina, and they're like, we got to play in a freaking play-in. We're North Carolina. And it's like, yeah, you got to play in a play-in. Be happy you're here. That kind of situation. It's like when your kid's complaining about food, be happy you got food on the table. Don't complain about the Brussels sprouts. Some kids can't even eat. North Carolina, some teams are at home. You know, shut up.
What's Carolina's RPI?
Who cares? I don't know. Coleman may know something like that. Coleman, do you know about what their RPI is?
They were 49th in the net before yesterday, so I don't know what they've moved to.
That net is interesting because I think Arkansas was like, they've been sitting at 15, like 14.
The metrics love your hog.
Yeah, I mean, because listen, we've played a lot of good teams, and they're not holding the conference tournament against us. We've played other big games outside the conference tournament. So I think we're 8-10 in conference, but it's like they're still like you're in regardless of what happens, which is crazy because in the olden days, 3 years ago, if you weren't 500 in conference, you weren't even considered. Do you think part of that, though, Coleman, is because a lot of the mid-majors are a lot weaker and the only team getting in from not even mid, but some of the upper but not power 6 schools, like I can't see there being 2 teams from any of those conferences.
Right. I think what
He's pausing here to really make up his mind.
does is
There you go.
reward the Power 6 teams,
Got
the
it.
bigger schools. So I think the mid-majors have been hurt by this change in the last half decade or less to the net and quadrant system.
How much basketball do you watch, Quinn, as a football guy?
I love it.
Like all?
I watch it all.
How about getting a vasectomy the day before the tournament so you could watch the tournament, even though you didn't really want a vasectomy?
Yeah, I think I'm a pass on
Okay, just making sure. Feel like that's
Smart.
pretty strong. Pretty
I'm
strong.
with him.
Yeah. And you're here, and you're representing the university, obviously, but also here as a fan. Do you ever feel like you can't, like, passionately cheer because it might not look good for you if you're upset while you're cheering or jeering and not yelling against the team? But I get pissed sometimes, and I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah.
And like, I don't cheer. I love the Razorbacks more than anything, but sometimes I'm just so I'm just distraught. But I don't represent the university. You do. Do you feel like you have to always smile, and even though it ain't going well?
I think my background plays a big part in that. Being a quarterback, I mean, I never, at the University of Arkansas, I never really try to let my emotions show. And so my wife is like, show some emotion. But I'm like, I'm just sitting there
No,
chilling.
she's talking about relationship, buddy. She's not talking about game. She's like,
So at the games, I just the ebb and flow. I just chill out. So I don't get too high. I don't get too low. I know you get upset.
man, I go both ways. And I have no emotion anywhere in my life except Razorback games.
Yeah, that's healthy.
But I don't. I know. I agree. My therapist is like, how do you expect yourself to experience highs if you don't experience, because I'm like, I don't get sad because I don't build myself up of disappointment, too much disappointment in my life as my young stages. So I don't ever get sad because I expect it.
Yeah.
But that keeps me from the high. That being said, I'm like sick inside my guts when we lose. And I'm so happy when we win. It's really the only thing where that happens. When you would play, when you were playing, you weren't an emotion guy playing quarterback?
Nope.
Could you not be? Were you
Oh, no,
trained?
no,
Were you
no, no.
trained
Trust
not to
me.
be?
Trust me, I had emotions that would tap into what my team was dealing with. I mean, at the quarterback position, you got to be able to look at those other 10 guys and be able to assess where they're at. And there'd be times where I'd have to get on people. There'd be times where I'd pat them on the back. So, I mean, it's just the same thing you're doing in your business. I mean, sometimes you just got to be there for them. But the emotion aspect of it is I wanted them to always know that when I walked into the huddle, we were going to have a chance to win this game. We were going to have a chance to be successful on this play. And so that's really it. So I walked in probably with the same demeanor most of the time, 80% of the time, but there were times where you had to change that to get what you needed.
You ever get to a fight on the field?
I ain't trying to fight. Well, I did get into a fight one time. We were playing against Hawaii,
Where?
in Hawaii,
Okay.
my freshman year. And there was a big defensive tackle, a guy named Al Noga. Big dude. You don't mess with them Samoans now. They'll get after you now. And so he kind of wrapped me up after a play, and I hit him in the stomach with the ball. And he slapped me across the face. And I made a different decision. I said, I'm going to go this other way. I'm going to let you have this one. I'm not messing with this one. I mean, I know I got help coming. You know how if somebody can hold everybody back and you can act like you tough. Now, there was nothing between me and Al. So it was, I was going to get it for a few minutes. So I decided not to do that. I decided to live and play another play.
Would you ever talk crap across the line of scrimmage when you were under
Yes.
center?
Absolutely.
But what would you say? How would you say it?
Well,
Would they know it?
absolutely. That's the only way to talk trash.
But you're under center. You're like, all right, blue 50. And you would say what?
Well, no, I wouldn't like in the middle of a cadence. or
Okay,
anything
you're not like,
that. No.
jump 56,
No.
I'm talking to you.
No, would never do. I mean, you got to think about a lot of different things other than talking trash. Now, after the play, before the play,
Yeah.
trash talking was good.
You-
The one thing you never want to do, though, Bobby, get caught under the pile.
Because
I
then
don't know
you're
if
vulnerable.
you've ever been caught up under the pile, but I'm going to tell you right now, hands are coming under your face mask, trying to scratch your eyeball. I mean, it's all kinds of dirty stuff under the pile. I mean, you see people get tackled, people on top of them, the dude on the bottom. Yeah, he's dealing with some stuff right now.
When they ever try to grab your,
Oh, everything. Yeah.
I tried that last night.
yeah, we weren't in a pile. But we weren't in a pile.
I was just
though.
playing golf, and
Yeah.
I was like, let me make a little feel of that. So you don't trash talk across the line. You never would say anything, like if you're walking up to the line, you're like, okay, 56, he's not good. We're going to go take him. You never anything like that.
Nah, nothing like that. I never really called anybody out like that. But I talked a lot of trash for a guy that was back then 5'10", 200 pounds.
And you ran the option.
Oh, yeah. Ran it.
And
yeah.
you always, if you're running the option, one of the options is you get hit.
No, that is an option. I mean, that's going to happen. Getting hit is going to happen. It's when you run that wishbone the way we did it back then, it's like operating in the telephone booth.
You ever get hit so hard you didn't know where you were for a little bit?
Prime example. We were 10-0, playing for a conference championship against Texas A&M. We're in Fayetteville. We're on the right hash, on the 27-yard line, going into the north end zone. We call a sprint out pass play. It's 3rd and 8. And A&M had a lot of those linebackers that would get after you. The wrecking crew is what they call them. And so a guy named Aaron Wallace, who's one of the best linebackers, was on the right side. And so I'm sprinting left. Aaron Wallace gets up the field. I cut up inside. 3 guys just absolutely crush me. I fall down like Apollo Creed and Rocky. Boom, hit the ground, fumble the football. I'm knocked out. And so Dean Weber, who was our longtime assistant or trainer, he said it's the first time in his career he thought somebody was dead on the field. I mean, I'm laid out. Like back in the old movies, like Dragnet, you jump out of the window and they put the white chalk around you on the field. they could have done that on the 27-yard line for me. I mean, I'm laid out like that. And so so they wake me up with smelling salt. That's what they did back then. And, concussion protocol was completely different back then.
Was there one?
It wasn't one.
Okay. Yeah. By it didn't exist. Yeah.
Your bell was wrong. And so they wake me up, and I look at Dean. I'm on the field. I said, Dean, what are you doing in my bedroom? He said, we're not in your bedroom.
Oh, man.
No way.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So they get me up, and we're walking to the sideline, and I'm concussed. I get over to the sideline. And so what they do is they'll ask you a series of questions to determine whether or not you're fit to go back into the game. So they asked me the first question, Quinn, what do you do on this play? I said, I do this, this, and this, and this. Hey, Quinn, what's your check on this play? I do this, this, and this, and this. I'm thinking, I'm about to go back in this damn game. And I ain't got no business in this game. They asked the last question. They said, Quinn, who's the president? I said, Jesse Jackson. Took me to the hospital.
You couldn't even that's the stuff you couldn't remember.
Ambulance on the field.
Wow.
Take me to the hospital. Now, see, I was trying to be forward thinking back then in 1989, bringing a brother into the presidency.
I felt that.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Now Jesse
He
might
was
not
trying to
have been
will
the right
it into
one.
existence. Yeah.
Jesse might not have been the right one to say, but actually, I was just messed up, and so when you get knocked out like that, I mean, it's a bad deal.
It's crazy that you can remember all the football things, even though you're sideways in your brain. You have all that. You know what play, where to go.
Yeah.
But it's also like
Yeah.
name something that we all should know right now, every single day, all of us, regardless of. And it's like, nope, don't got that.
Yeah.
You're out of here.
I'm out. Gone.
I'm surprised you can remember that though.
Yeah.
Do you remember getting hit?
It's bad. No, I don't remember actually getting hit. I was knocked out. I mean, when you see the hit, I'll show it to you. When you see the hit, I mean those guys hit me, and I was out when they hit me, and then I hit the ground. My head hit the ground, and then an A&M guy's butt rolled over the top of my head. So it was, I was.
Well, I didn't ask about the part you liked. I was talking about the part.
Yeah. He remembered that part.
Yeah, that's the
and
part.
his feet touched me too.
Do you, looking back, because I think you played against Troy Aikman at Cotton Bowl, right?
Oh yeah,
When he was at UCLA.
that's right.
Let's go.
He's a massive
go.
Cowboys
Is
fan.
it?
Let's go.
Yeah, Troy.
So
You got him though, right?
No, we lost. We lost 17
nice
to
job,
3.
Eddie. Nice job, buddy.
Hey, I knew they did.
One of the worst games of my life.
Why?
I mean, really, because we did not produce. So all week long, I heard all this stuff about Troy Aikman. And I mean, I knew Troy because he's from Oklahoma. I was from Oklahoma. And he went to Oklahoma. I was in the stands the day he got hurt against Miami when he was the quarterback at OU, and then had to transfer to UCLA. Jamel Holloway trots out on the field and takes over the job. They win a national championship.
In the stands as in younger, watching the game?
As in a recruit, yeah.
Got it.
As a recruit. I was a senior. Yeah, senior. And so Troy was big. He did his thing, and I heard all week long about how Troy was going to be the number 1 pick and all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking, you know what, I'm this little 5'10" quarterback. I'm going to show this cat up. That was my mindset the entire time. Heard all week, Quinn, you got to have a balanced attack. Y'all don't throw it a whole lot. Got to have a balanced attack. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give you a balanced attack. Get into the game, one of the worst games of my life. We have 42 yards of total offense the entire game. So I get into the press conference after the game, and they're asking Quinn, how you feel? I said, well, all week long, y'all talked about us needing to have a balanced attack. I said, we had 42 yards total offense. I gave you 21 rushing and 21 passing.
It's no more balance than that.
Right. 21.
So y'all don't know as much as you think you should know. There's a whole lot more than just having a balanced attack. And, yeah.
Was he legit in college, Troy?
yeah.
Oh, you could tell? He was
Oh, yes. I mean,
Bit- was he-
6'4".
yeah.
The monster.
I mean, at UCLA, blonde, good-looking cat. Yeah, he was on his way.
So
what
when
did
you-
that have to do with him playing, though?
What's that?
The good-looking cat. What did that have to do with him?
Well, I'm just saying it just adds to it.
Like when people saw you, they're like, he's on his way.
you know,
Okay, all right.
that's just kind of how it works. You knew that if he went to be that number one pick for America's team, that he was going to be in pretty good shape. And he's turned it into a great career.
So you were a recruit at Oklahoma,
Oh, yeah.
and was it Switzer recruiting you?
Switzer.
And
Yeah.
and what was that like? Was he big?
I would tell you what, Barry Switzer can recruit a shark to live on dry land. I mean, he's that good. I mean, he will get you to make a decision that you probably should not make. And so, funny story, a guy named Charles Thompson, who was a quarterback at Oklahoma, Mike Gundy, who's now the coach at Oklahoma State, we were all at Oklahoma the same weekend. And Mike Gundy goes in to meet with Switzer first. And he's in the office with Switzer, and they're talking back and forth. And Mike's in there 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes goes by. It shouldn't be a long conversation. And so he came out about 30 minutes later, and Gundy was like white as a sheet. I was like, damn, Mike, what's up, bro? He's like, I committed to Oklahoma. I said, don't you know they run the wishbone? You are throwing quarterback. He said he wouldn't let me out the room. And so when I came back the following week on my recruiting visit, when he called me in there for that little solo visit, I said, come on, Mom and Daddy, y'all can come on in here because I am not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And so
Like, what was special about his communication, though?
I mean, it's just the way he related. He related to the mamas first and foremost. He's going to get the mama, and he's going to eat. He's going to recruit. He's going to get the mom. And he understands the fact that, especially back then, a lot of black kids, I mean, that's their opportunity. But he knew how to relate to them. He knew how to get them to the next level, and people bought into that. So Barry Switzer was, in a lot of people's eyes, an out and an opportunity to the NFL, something bigger, and that's what he did. And that's why he had so many good teams.
So why didn't you go play for him?
Because I liked the situation at Arkansas better. So I said I was in the stands when Troy Aikman got hurt and Holloway trotted on the field. I'm not afraid of competition at all. Holloway trots on, leads them to a national championship. If you got a freshman that's led somebody to a national championship, it's going to be very, very difficult to supplant them. And that was something that weighed in my mind. But when I went to Arkansas, the coaches, the players, it just felt better for me. And my mom said something to me back in 1986. And I don't even know why she's thinking like this. But she said, Quinn, if you go to the University of Arkansas, I can just tell by the way these people love this program on the recruitment. We were there 3 days. She said, if you go to the University of Arkansas, you'll be able to provide for your family in a meaningful way. And when you're 5'10", 190 pounds, you ain't going to the NFL. You might go to the CFL, and your check ain't going to come on time. But
I feel like that's a personal statement there. You didn't make that up. I feel like you went to the CFL and your check didn't come on time.
Check ain't coming on time, man. It ain't coming on time. So I was able to meet people and continue to build those relationships with the people of Arkansas, and it's worked out. I can't tell you how good it is to be here. Like, I'm in Nashville hanging out with you, getting ready to watch basketball tonight.
There he is.
Quinn. Wow, that's awesome, man. I love it.
Look at Eddie clapping.
I
So
love
let's
it.
clap
I
for
love
Quinn.
it.
I ain't giving it to him yet.
Oh,
at the
what?
end. I give him his flowers.
Oh, not
at the
yet?
end.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end. All right, Coleman. So you're going over to watch what game now?
I'm about to head over to watch.
He's moved inside like
He looks like he's at a truck
Outback
stop.
Steakhouse corner
Yeah,
booth.
I can show you guys my setup. I mean, I'm just posted up at like a rest stop Starbucks.
Yeah, that a boy. Hey, we do it right here, don't we? We send him to a rest stop Starbucks. Okay, so we got SEC tournament tonight. We're all going.
Yeah. Thank you, Quinn.
Thank you.
No, wait, hold on. I bought the tickets.
No, but Quinn got the tickets.
No.
You know what I mean?
He got me tickets, and then I bought tickets for you guys.
Yeah. But if it wasn't for Quinn, we wouldn't have the chance to.
But if it wasn't for the hospitality at the University of Arkansas, he wouldn't even be here to begin with. So that's what we should think from back in like. Okay. Anyway.
Thank you both.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you both.
Yeah.
Hey Tom, Phillip Rivers ready to unretire
Huh?
and come back. Phillip Rivers.
Come back where?
What do you think?
He's not going to play again.
Yeah, the 41-year-old former Chargers and Colts quarterback retired after 2020. Was going to go coach high school. Did.
He
It
did
sounds
do
like I'm
that.
ready to give the NFL one more shot. He says he's in top physical condition.
No.
He's back in a rigorous workout routine, has expressed his readiness to join a team should they need his services. He has already been in contact with the Dolphins and 49ers. I don't think, though, he's trying to go in as a starter. I think he's just like, I'd like to play again. And if it comes to that, or if there's an injury, I'm happy to jump in and be kind of a stopgap in between you getting somebody else. And I also would imagine, and Quinn, I think you could probably speak on this, like when you do something your whole life and then you stop, meaning Phillip Rivers, that's what he did. Where did he play, NC State?
Yep.
So think about high school, NC State, the Chargers, celebrated. You're the guy. All of a sudden, you're the guy that used to be the guy, but it's still cool, but it's not the same, and you're not getting that same competition. When you stop playing football, your final time, if it was your last Razorback game or, when you stop after the CFL, were you just kind of lost for a minute?
It's difficult. But the good thing about it is I had a mindset that I had a plan in place that I was really going to try to make sure that I was moving forward. I didn't have any grandeur. I didn't have any thoughts of thinking I'm going to be Phillip Rivers. Rivers played a lot of years in the NFL, but for him to think he's going to come back, that'd be a bad decision for Mr. Rivers. I mean,
For both the team and Rivers?
I mean, yeah, that'd be bad. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, you go through a phase where you try to figure things out. Luckily for me, I had broadcasting to be able to jump in and still travel with the team, be around players. That really helped me out. But look, you got 11 guys trying to kill you, and when you 41, 42, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phillip better stay on that recliner, man. I mean, that's what I would recommend. Look, I know we played Madden before, and those little electronic guys, they're getting hit stick, all that.
Yeah.
Out there, it's real. It's like when they get that 15-yard penalty, you get the 15 yards, but you still have to deal with the pain.
That's a good point. I'm just like, 15 yards, cool. All right, start over. All right, everybody feels good. Start over to the next play.
It's not like that in real life.
I guess not.
No.
I guess not.
No.
Pau Gasol becomes the 12th Laker to have his jersey retired.
Cool.
I just think about Eddie and I seeing Pau Gasol in Pebble Beach hitting golf balls, 7 foot tall, with really long golf clubs, and an athlete. But it's just I've never seen something so tall. It's like a big swing. It's just wild.
It's like a giraffe playing golf. Like, it's just amazing.
Is the swing good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was good.
really
It was
good.
just real. It's just like, there goes the club. It's like tick tock. It's like a grandfather clock, a massive grandfather clock, like swing. I just didn't. And also, he was so tall that we knew he was somebody.
But
he
didn't
just
recognize him.
blended in with everybody that was there except for the tall part. We're like, who is that? Who is that? Left is oh, goddamn, it's Paul Gasol. It's crazy. Pau Gasol. Excuse me. So, but yeah, and I think he's a bit overshadowed, even though he's a great. I think he's overshadowed by Kobe, and not in a bad way. Like it's hard to really be known as like that guy whenever that guy is on the same team.
Yeah, especially because he already played with Shaq too early in his career. So everyone always thinks big man is Shaq.
I don't even
It's
think of
Kobe.
him and Shaq playing
You know what
together.
I
Is
mean?
what's crazy. I just think of him and Kobe.
But should that guy's number be retired, though, when you think about in the grand scheme?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think of him as, but I was looking at a lot of the numbers, a lot of the stats, even championships. He's got every analytic. Should Pippins be retired? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, we think of Pippen as a really great Michael Jordan sidekick, even though he's one of the top 50 basketball players of all time when they put the list out. No one's going to go name the top 50 players, even 20 players ever, 25. You're not going to say Scottie Pippen's name, although he probably was. But he played Michael Jordan, so it was overshadowed so much.
I mean, what does it take to get your jersey retired? I mean, just
Contribution. What's the contribution?
Yeah.
Is it wins? Is it titles? It's just mostly titles, honestly. It's mostly titles. You can also just be a big winner on a losing team. Like, for example, Manning in New Orleans. The dad.
Archie.
I'm pretty sure his jersey's retired, and they sucked.
Oh yeah.
But he was just the guy, and like he was throwing for records, for team records, like there's not a real answer. It's almost like how I got in the Illuminati. I don't really have a reason that I can tell you guys for sure.
It's the first time he's admitted this.
No, I didn't admit it. I was making a joke. I was making a joke there.
But don't you think though, like the Basketball Hall of Fame, there are guys that probably shouldn't be Hall of Famers in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And there are probably guys who aren't in that should be, but they were on bad teams.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like Tim Couch is an example I use in the NFL. Had he not gone to the Browns, I think he'd probably been a pretty good NFL quarterback. I do.
Yeah. Really?
I do.
Yeah.
And I think he went to a bad organization. You don't have a chance. I think if you go to the Browns, look at Matt Stafford. He would have just been a guy that threw a bunch of yards and never won with Detroit.
Yeah.
So
First year he leaves, he was good Super Bowl.
and he's old.
Wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's not even in prime. He's old, Matt Stafford. And he wins a freaking Super Bowl. So, yes, I agree with what you're saying completely. There were guys that shouldn't be in because they were on great teams with great casts. And there are guys that probably should be, but because they weren't in good organizations, they had no help. They aren't because they weren't nurtured and given resources.
And I think about the Basketball Hall of I think that's the easiest Hall of Fame to get in. And again, I don't know if it's with the number of players that actually come through the NBA because the roster size is smaller than most. But there are a lot of guys in there, in my opinion, that like, that guy's a Hall of Famer? Really? Basketball
Well, you're
Hall
just
of
a
Fame.
hater. You're just a hater.
No,
That's the case.
no,
You're just a
I'm
hater.
not
If you
trying to
have
be-
that thought, that's a hater thought.
No, I'm thinking like really and truly when I think of Hall of Famers, I mean, it's somebody that really changed. I mean, like Gasol's probably going to get in the Hall of Fame.
Not probably, for sure.
Yeah, he's going to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so I think the NBA is now the Basketball Hall of Good.
I think the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, they also got to be the hall of we got to keep making money. And if you're not putting enough players in each year and you're not having ceremony and people reminded what city it's in, what town it's in, why you got to get tickets, then the Hall of Good turns into the Hall of Broke and nobody's going. It's still a business. So sometimes you got to make a Hall of Famer just so you keep everything going.
So prime example, like Udonis Haslem for the Miami Heat. He's been there forever. 42 years old.
You guys play together, yeah.
I mean, longevity is probably going to get him in the Hall of Fame.
Longevity is important for sure because you're also able to build numbers. He doesn't sound, in my mind, you say Haslam, I think of playing in Florida.
Yeah.
I think of him being on some good, I don't think Hall of Famer, but you can also convince me with numbers because I didn't see everything. But you're right. It's the Hall of really good. How about that?
Yeah.
With the occasional
good.
great.
Sounds weird, but okay.
A couple things. Let me do this. I want to get to Coleman's interview in a second, and then we'll give final thoughts here. March means nonstop college hoops action. It all starts with conference tournaments. Who will earn their bid in the biggest tournament of the year? Who will be left waiting? Join the excitement. Make your bets with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5 on any pregame money line to get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, all new and existing customers can take a shot at cashing in big with DraftKings stepped-up parlays. You can boost your winnings with each leg you add up to 100%. It is conference championship season. Like Coleman said, maybe even more exciting than some of the NCAA tournament games later on. Like this is teams fighting to actually get in the tournament. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers use the promo code BobbySports. Bet $5 on any college hoops pregame money line. You get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code BobbySports. 21 and up in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. See show notes for full details. Hey, Coleman, we're going to go over to your interview with the coach of Samford, Bucky McMillan.
Yes.
How'd you feel about Bucky?
Oh my gosh, Bucky McMillan. I feel like he is a coach that in 10 years I'm going to be like pinching myself. I got to interview Bucky McMillan a decade ago. Now he's from Birmingham. He played college basketball at Birmingham Southern. So perhaps he's a guy that will stay around at Samford for a while. But I feel like the turnaround that he's had at Samford, Power 6 programs are going to want him to be their head coach. And he's a guy that wins the right way that I think is going to be a future superstar in college basketball.
Here he is. Here's Coleman with Samford head coach Bucky McMillan.
Here with head coach of the Samford Bulldogs, Bucky McMillan. Coach, take me through what pushed you into getting into coaching after your playing career at Birmingham Southern.
I actually coached while I was playing. Coached AU basketball And so I always tell people, I'm a college coach now, but really my heart was maybe an AU coach before I was even a high school coach. And, those are the days of 15 passenger vans and 10-hour bus rides and, being responsible for 15, 17-year-old kids at 21 years old. And I loved every second of it. Some of the most fun I've ever had was those first teams I coached in AAU. So I did that. When I got done playing, I already knew what I wanted to do, was jump right into coaching.
What pushed you immediately into that to start coaching AAU basketball while you're in college?
I've just always loved the game of basketball. I've put so much time into the game, and I just love being around it. Like, everyone got to find their flow state somewhere, and to get that adrenaline going, and basketball does it for me.
When you become a head high school basketball coach, were you already thinking in your head of one day coaching in college, or were you just focused on the there and now?
I never really looked to the next step of that. I just always, when I was in my job, I just, it's funny because I was looking at some of the high school stuff now, and sometimes when you're in it, it seems like it is your whole world. Mm-hmm. When you step out of it and you're able to look at it, it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't the whole world. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever job you're in, I feel like that is your whole world.
Absolutely.
And, this opportunity obviously came along, and right now this is my whole world.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That sustained success, how were you able to keep it at the high school level for that long, that many state championships and competing at that level?
We had awesome kids, right? We really did. We had really good kids and good players, but just really were made of the right stuff that equates to long-term winning. It's not a coincidence when you see some of these programs, even in college, that have those 20-win seasons every year. You're going to find out that they're usually high-character people. They're unselfish people. They work hard. All those intangibles, because the difference between a lot of these college basketball teams is like that much.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's really like that much. And so what separates is how does a team, how do players, individuals handle when things don't go their way. Mm-hmm. That's really what separates. How do you handle it when it doesn't go your way? And if you have the right people, they know how to handle that. They're not going to quit on you. They're going to keep playing. They're going to persevere. And that's the story of our season this year, right? We had a good start. We had some injuries, went through a losing streak, but we had the right people that could turn it around and persevere.
Mm-hmm. You had an unconventional route for most Division I coaches. What was it like getting your name thrown in the running for this head basketball job, coming from the high school ranks rather than working your way up as an assistant through college or something like that?
It's a good question. I've been asked that. I've always, number one, believed in myself. So, I'd always knew that an opportunity in basketball, regardless of the level, I knew I could be successful. But it's an honor because this place is, 5 minutes from my house.
Right.
Right. It's got an incredible administration. It's got an athletic director that's phenomenal. We've got a presence that is great. So if you could have drawn up a place to go from high school to college, and I live in Mountain Brook. That's where I coach high school basketball. And Samford's actually closer to my house than Mountain Brook High School. So, that's like a dream situation.
Absolutely.
And then to be here with the people here, and the people here want to win. Mm-hmm. Samford, if you look at it, Samford, we won it in football this year, the conference championship, won it in women's soccer, won it in volleyball, right? Minimally, we're co-champs right now of the league in men's basketball, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's a school that wins, and so that's always good.
Absolutely. Coach, you talked about a little bit of adversity, right? Facing adversity, and how do you respond to that? Your kids have already responded very well to that when you saw it in late November, early December, faced some injuries, lost 7 straight basketball games. Yet despite that, you're 21-9. How do you get the guys to rally heading into conference tournament play after 7 straight losses?
Yeah. I think the focus has always got to be on getting better. If you focus on winning or losing, and that's the end all, then you're going to become complacent when you win, right? And then sometimes when you lose, you don't have the right attitude that we got to get in the gym and continue to work, because you're focused on your results. You can't focus on your results. Even today we play Furman. It's going to be about how we play, right? If we play well, things take care of themselves. You can play well and lose, but you got to strive to play your best at all times and to get better. We want to be better next week in the conference tournament than we are today. We want to be better today than we were last game with Chattanooga.
Yes, sir.
I think if that approach is permeated throughout your program, then the pressure of winning and losing isn't as great. And so when you go through adversity that people would consider adversity, which would be losing basketball games, you're still focused on doing the right things to right the ship.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about a little bit more adversity than that, just one bad stretch through a season. What about in your first year, 6-13, so many issues with COVID, in your first year after having all the success that you've had in high school, what were the lows of that like, and how'd you propel the team forward to that next year already get a 20-win season?
I actually think we win now, and we won last year because of our first year. I really believe that. Sometimes when a program gets going, it's not the year it got going. There's something in the past that you may not have known at the time was the reason that your program won. You know, whether it can be for anybody, be dismissing certain players that can hurt you short term, whether it's doing certain things that are going to be a negative short term for you, but can be a positive long term. And are you willing to do it? Are you willing to put the program first? Are you going to put the team first? Right? Are you going to put the individual first? It's always got to be, you got to make the best decision for the program first at all times. And that way, the team that is currently playing can flourish, and individuals can flourish if you have that mindset. But when you kind of get that order flipped, well, the best decision right now for this team is to do this, irrespective of what the program really needs. We're going to play players who haven't acted right, done that, just to win a game. Well, what happens is you can't have a successful program. You just can't have
Love
it.
that.
And so I think if you make every decision that way, and essentially what we're talking about is making a long-term decision, then you can have long-term winning. If you're going to make short-term decisions, you make a short-term win, but you'll never win long-term, right? And so for us, we wanted to build something that is sustainable. And I think you see that when you have that, your teams are always going to improve. And last year we did the same thing. Like we won like 10 of our last 12, right? We're won 15 of our last 17 this year. Hopefully 16 of our last 18 after today. But that's what a program is. Not a team, it's about a program.
You've utilized the transfer portal very successfully. 2 of your 5 leading scorers, Logan, AJ, were a part of that 6-win team. The other 3 have been guys that you've been able to pull in from the transfer portal, 2 of them from the Power 6 ranks. When you bring in a guy like Quinn Grovey from Florida, who averaged 19 points a game last year, numbers are down a little bit this year, but clearly critical to your team's success even in his injuries. How quickly did you know, wow, we've got a special talent here when he arrived on campus for you?
I knew Quinn Grovey was a special talent well before he arrived on campus because we played against him in high school and he had 28 points on us.
Yeah.
So when I was coaching high school, he was playing at Bearden High School in Tennessee, and they won the state championship, and we won the state championship, and we met and we played a game in Mississippi. And I remember the day before the game, I'm looking at his tape, because it's a non-league game and all that. So I'm like, so you don't spend a ton of time on it, but you look at the day before and like, I just call my sister, like, who is? I still have the text somewhere. I'm like, who in the world is this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm showing her, this guy's unbelievable. And so we go out there and he has 28 points on us. I remember it. And so it's funny how you remember things and how things intertwine. Like I don't remember a lot of players off other teams. It's just not me. I usually forget that. I don't remember the details of them after the game's played.
Right.
That always stuck with me. It always stuck with me. Sometimes maybe things happen for reasons. Stuck with me, and then we ended up united. And he's had a great career here so far. He had a knee injury that he's had to overcome, and he's as dynamic as anybody in the league when he's healthy.
Absolutely. How critical is this game for you all tonight? Yes, it means winning a regular season SoCon championship, but also, given the tight race of that trio up at the top, you aren't having to beat 2 of the 3 on your way to winning a conference tournament championship. How much emphasis are you putting on tonight's game?
Well, the reality of it is we just want to play well. That's what we would tell our players. You don't want to put pressure on seeding or this or that. We obviously know there's advantages to seeding, right? So you obviously play your best so you can have a better seed. If we win today, being outright champs, obviously that's a bigger accomplishment than being co-champs, right? But the truth is, man, we've had a great season, and I know that our players are going to do everything they can in this game to play their best, right? And then we'll let the chips fall where they may. To win the conference tournament, regardless of your seed next week, you got to play 3 great games. That's it. Anybody in this league can pop you. You see that. Furman plays Citadel. Citadel beats Furman. Citadel is not one of the top 4 teams in the league right now. Citadel came here as a 3-point game with about 30 seconds left, right? You've seen VMI. VMI here is a single-digit game under the 10-minute mark here. They're not the top of the league. All these teams are well coached. They have good players. They can get going from the 3-point line. So the seeding is important. It helps you, but it's not as important as playing your best basketball.
Yes, sir. Last question for you here, Coach. What would it mean to you, being a guy coaching here in Birmingham, to lead the Samford Bulldogs to an NCAA tournament if you are able to win 3 straight next week?
I mean, a lot. I mean, more if we get the NCAA tournament and we win some games.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So that's kind of really what we want to do. We want to play our best basketball. If we play our best basketball, I think anybody in our league that gets to the tournament has a real chance to win. And so the SoCon doesn't play just to be there. If you look at the last couple of years, those games have been single-digit games. I mean, right down to the wire. We've had teams in our league go to the Elite 8. Right. And people forget Steph Curry played in this league, right? So, it'd been a great deal. But again, we just got to focus on what we can control, which is playing our best, and hopefully we play our best today. You're gonna see this. That for people that don't know, I'm really glad you're here because people don't know what we have going on here. When you're gonna feel this in this building right here, right? You're gonna feel mid-major places, and sometimes there's mid-major places out there. Their facilities are so big that there's people there, but you don't feel it. Like you're about to feel this, and that's what I want people to know. That in the middle of Alabama, what people perceive as a football place, right here we have Auburn, who's the top basketball team. We have UAB, who's playing great. You have Alabama, who's the top 2-3 team in the country, and then now you're going to see this with us, who's right in first place of their league, and you're going to feel that this is a basketball state just as well as a football state here in Alabama.
Yes, sir. I got goosebumps hearing that, Coach. I can't wait for tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Wishing you and Samford best of luck the rest of the way.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you being here.
All right, Coleman, appreciate that. Hey, speaking of coaches, you guys see where Ole Miss was talking to Beard? Like he's out of Texas. Now he's talking to Ole Miss. Here's the thing about Ole Miss. They don't care. They just want to win. They're like, we don't care. Oh, yeah. We have no integrity.
And his charges are dropped, so there's nothing on his record, right? As far as
the charges were dropped.
Yeah.
Yes, dropped.
And you felt like Texas felt the pressure that even though they were dropped since it happened under their watch, they had to do something.
Correct.
If I were Ole Miss, I would go. I have no shame either. Bring back Petrino after Pittman leaves.
Oh, man.
Once Pittman goes and decides I'm done after we win some games, and let's go. Bring him back, baby. I was like, why are we firing him? Why he left? Whatever. He didn't stab anybody. But anyway, if Beard goes to Ole Miss, that's bad for the SEC.
Yeah.
He's a really good coach. Yeah. He completely turned Texas Tech around. Went over to Texas. They're still awesome.
Yeah, they're good.
That's his team. Please don't go to Ole Miss. Hire Bucky McMillan and send him to Samford. That's what I say. That's what I say about that. Let's do final thoughts. And my final thought is going to be what I mentioned at the beginning of this. Thank you for reminding me. And I will go last. Eddie?
Oh, Tiger. Maybe you can shed a little bit of light on this, but his girlfriend breaks up with Tiger, and now she's going to the courts trying to get his NDA nullified because there's some bad stuff went on in that relationship.
Yeah, so she needs the judge to say the NDA no longer holds true because of what you're claiming, which I think is like sexual assault.
Correct.
I think that you may look up the exact terminology, but there's something like that.
I think it's sexual harassment is the exact terminology. Don't know exactly what it is.
You think it's harassment?
That's what it said.
Will you look that up? Because I definitely don't want to be wrong about this, but go ahead.
A question. I just don't know. Is that even possible to get an NDA nullified?
Yes.
Okay.
Rare, but possible.
So when she dated, just to understand.
What do you see, Kevin?
No, nothing yet. I was wondering what an NDA is.
Oh, that's a great thing to
I'm
ask.
not married, so I don't know.
No, it's not about marriage.
It's not marriage.
Oh, okay.
It's a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, okay.
Like when, and just being completely transparent here, if people come and work at my house, like they're doing work inside the house, they sign NDAs.
Okay.
So they can't take a picture or anything. They can't talk about stuff. Just because I've had so many security issues, like, we'll NDA, like after we leave here, I'm going to NDA Quinn.
You good.
Just for no reason.
You should. I
just
saw
be
a
like,
look in his eye.
I just want you to sign this paper. It'd be funny.
I'm down.
All right, go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, just question because I don't really understand. So when they started dating, Tiger's like, I've been through a lot of crap in my life. A lot of people like to talk bad about me. So before we do this, sign here, and you can't talk about our relationship ever.
Correct.
And now she's trying to get rid of that.
What do you have?
Both of them, assault and harassment.
So the judge would have to say that he thinks probably there's enough evidence in the sexual assault or harassment for it to be lifted. He's not going to lift it just because she wants to say some stuff. But probably it's let's talk about it privately. What's the deal? He has to make a decision. And if he feels or she feels like, if the judge or man or woman, I don't know, if they feel like that this agreement being lifted is for the victim, that happens sometimes, and it should happen.
Yeah.
You know, there were times with other folks, famous people, where they're like, we need this NDA lifted because we have charges we need to press. And the judges will do that at times. So if true, bad news.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out.
I'm not jumping on the it's true, I'm not jumping on the it ain't true part,
Yeah.
but we should wait and see how it plays out. Because it's easy as members of the media, if that's what we are, to just pick whatever narrative sounds most entertaining and run with it. And so we try not to do that unless it's got feet in it. I'm not gonna run with the narrative.
Yeah.
You know,
You love feet.
I love, you know, I
do
love
love feet.
Hey,
You
I
said
love,
that.
I love people that love feet. I personally don't like feet at all, and I don't get why that's all.
Boeheim
Like,
loves feet.
yeah, like all hot to people.
According to this podcast.
So what I hope happens is the judge is able to speak with her, hear her story, and if he feels like that's true, that he's able to lift that.
All right.
So it is a possibly sad story or bizarre story, or I don't know. She wants a lot of money. So there's always that element as well that's in it. You hope it's not true.
No,
Honestly, you
exactly.
hope nobody got sexually assaulted and nobody got sexually harassed, but you don't know that that's not true. So that's probably what's going to happen in my short legal career.
Hey, thanks for clarifying that.
That's not really clarifying. It's me giving the
Well-
best interpretation of a version based on any NDAs I've had to give people.
You read the story, and I'm like, I don't know what a lot of these words mean.
Yeah,
So
well,
thank you.
well, I'm glad you asked about what NDA was.
Yeah, I was
because
like, am I lost here?
it's common. Yes, you were lost. Kevin.
Thanks for the clarification. Mine is on now Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Just got reinstated this week, and he came out with a column on the Players Tribune. I don't know if you guys have read it
did.
at all. I thought it was awesome. If you have not,
Admitting, like really coming, like,
Yeah.
my bad, I did wrong.
Yeah, highly recommend you read it. All about his upbringing, and then I didn't even know his house got broken into when he was in the NFL, and that's why he kind of got down on protecting his wife and his kids. Like, how can you not love that? So if you haven't read that, I highly recommend it.
It's just you don't know what you don't know, so stop acting like you know what you don't really know in general.
That's good stuff.
Like in general, we all do it. I do it too. We all, I know. It's another example. If you have no idea what's happening with folks, except for what they're showing you or what other people are showing you that sometimes they don't even want shown. You have no idea. You have no idea what's happening in Eddie's life.
Yeah.
Except what he's given you. You have no
Just
idea what's
give you
happening.
everything, but-
Yeah.
You know.
But yes, you don't know what you don't know. And I read that too, and I was like, one, he did not try to run away from any fault.
Right.
Because he gambled, right? That's what it was. Didn't he get busted gambling? I mean, that's why he was suspended.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
It's on an app too, and his name was like Calvin Ridley 68. And it's like, well, duh, we found that's you.
Let's get your name on it, dude.
It really wasn't that, but it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just don't know what you don't know, and stop acting like you do, because it's hurtful to people when you do that. And I try to be better at that. I'm not perfect at it. You know what I really go back to is the Duke lacrosse rape story.
Oh, man.
So many times, and that's been so long. They were eviscerated because of what was supposedly them raping a girl. And turns out it wasn't true. And their lives were turned up. And I think about that a lot whenever we talk about stories like this, where it's like, sure, I have opinions on what I think that my instinct, but my instinct is stupid when it comes to stuff I don't know. So
Manti Te'o was crazy for me too.
me too. God
That's
dang, I saw
crazy.
the Netflix show and I was like, I hated that I was like making all those jokes about
Yep,
that.
me too.
Michael Irvin's going through a lot right now too.
And they've seen the video. His lawyer saw the video and is like, show the video. We did nothing wrong.
Just
Now,
sucks.
I haven't seen the video, and that could also just be in his lawyer posturing. I don't know either way. But the lawyer's like, I saw the video. Ain't nothing to see here. Let's go. So, yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So stop acting like you do. Coleman.
My final thought is if there is an ORU with St. Peter's, a Florida Gulf Coast, in this NCAA tournament, it is the Colgate Raiders. I watched them punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament last night. They are a veteran team. They move the basketball ridiculously well. There has been no team that I have had more fun watching in this entire journey than the Colgate Raiders because of their unselfishness, the way they move it, and the way they shoot the basketball. They are a dangerous 14 seed for any 2 or 3.
So say it again. They're who? Who is it?
The Colgate Raiders.
Just making sure we get this on file here.
Colgate
Because last time I put
Raiders.
all that money on Marshall.
Me too, man.
No, I'm just
Correct.
kidding. I didn't. But Coleman did give me 4 bets in one day on this show, and all 4 of those suckers hit, and I made a ton of money.
Furman, baby, let's go.
Furman, he was
The
like,
Paladins.
he was
Look out
like,
for
here-
them too.
Quinn, he said they're going to cover -4.5. He said they're going to win by 7, 8, or 9.
The margin.
He nailed he nailed every part of the game. And he went 4 for 4, and they hit him the next day. I said, give me another one. He goes, I just want to retire 100%. I said, I respect that.
Quinn, he
Go
even,
out on top.
He even hit that the final score, combined score, would end in an odd number.
Well, halftime.
Wow.
Or
I bet it
halftime.
wrong. Yeah, I bet it wrong. That's me messing up, but he still hit it.
That's
strong.
crazy.
Okay, thank you, Coleman. Final thought for me. I've got into this Survivor, like the NFL league that I did, where you pick a team every week and you move along.
Yes.
So I got into this again, and each entry was $100, and I bought 5 entries. But it only happens when the NCAA tournament starts. And so you can pick a team, and if they win, you move on, but you can never pick that team again for the whole tournament. Now, if you guys want to get in with me on one of my selections, I will let you for $50, and then we can pick together. But just we could do one. We could do all 3 of us. We could just do one as a group for $33 each.
If we can just agree on one.
Yeah, we'll
one
agree
team.
on one, and we'll do that the whole time.
I
If
like
that's what
it.
you want to do.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
I'm in.
Yes, I love it.
Okay. All right. So I'll do that. Whenever the picks come out, we'll all decide, and we'll do that.
Okay.
And then we'll make more smiles than frowns,
If,
baby.
if
all right,
Arkansas
bro.
makes it, is it going to be Arkansas?
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to argue.
Well, you
him
can
out of
only pick them
Arkansas.
once. You can only pick them once. You can't pick them again.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, yeah,
it's-
same thing as the.
Yeah. So if you pick North Carolina and they win, well, you can never pick North Carolina again, regardless of how far they go.
Okay.
So there's that. Quinn, give us a final thought for the day.
Final thought. I'm glad to be in Nashville.
Yes, sir.
Hanging out with my boys. Glad y'all treating me with a lot of hospitality. And I'm glad y'all are coming to Bridgestone Arena tonight
Yeah.
to watch those Arkansas Razorbacks play. So that's my final thought. My final thought is with y'all in the stands, we have a chance to advance. And that's what I hope happens.
Well,
And-
Quinn, hey, thank you for getting us those tickets.
Shut
too,
up.
man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Quinn.
Why do you do that? All right. Thank you guys for listening. Eddie, whistle us out. We'll
All
see
right.
you guys on Monday or Tuesday. See you guys.